Deion Sanders has done it yet again, as he picked up some pretty solid recruits over the weekend. Plus, he added a pretty solid coach to his coaching staff. All that and more on today's episode of 4th and 10. 4 college football stories in just around 10 minutes. Now, let's go for it. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. Deion Sanders picked up another highly touted recruit this weekend for Colorado. 4-star running back Dylan Edwards announced this weekend that he was going to be committing to Colorado. Per 24/7 Sports, Edwards is the number 10 running back in the 2023 class. This is a huge get for Sanders, as Edwards is considered one of the fastest recruits in the entire country. He's already been clocked as running a 40 of 4.3. Edwards is considered one of the top recruits and the top running backs from the state of Kansas, but he's kind of been all over the place the last few weeks. Originally, he committed to Kansas State over Nebraska and Oklahoma, but he changed his mind a few weeks later as he committed to Notre Dame. After hearing that Deion Sanders was going to be leaving Jackson State for Colorado, Edwards decommitted from Notre Dame, and this weekend he committed to Colorado. This past season as a senior, Edwards rushed for 1,800 yards with 33 rushing touchdowns. As a junior, he posted over 3,200 all-purpose yards with 30 touchdowns and was named the Gatorade Player of the Year in Kansas. This is a huge get for Colorado, as it's their first commitment from a 4-star prospect since the 2020 recruiting class. Edwards is already the 12th highest rated prospect to sign with Colorado in program history. Edwards actually had an offer from Deion Sanders and the staff at Jackson State, so there already was a strong familiarity there. Colorado also got a commitment from 3-star wide receiver Assad Wassim. As a senior in Florida this past season, he caught 82 passes for 1,500 yards with 20 receiving touchdowns. He also had over 600 yards in the return game. Just for good measure, he added 12 tackles and 2 interceptions on defense. Although he's a 3-star recruit, he's one of the better 3-star recruits out there. He had offers from a number of programs, including teams like Ole Miss, Miami, Kentucky, and Arkansas. Here's what he had to say about his decision to commit to Colorado. "I've always had that swagger since I was a little kid. Now I have a coach with the same type of swag as me. I'm taking my talents to the University of Colorado. Coach Prime has that swag. I love people that don't care what anyone says about them. He's going to do big things. He played for Coach Bobby Bowden at Florida State. He's one of the best of all time, and I'm sure he learned a lot from him. I really like that. He's going to give it his all and do it his own way." I'm not throwing shade at any other school, but it's different when Coach Prime is coaching you. He's got a gold jacket. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm living in a different world playing for him. It's only been a couple weeks, and Deion Sanders has already managed to bring in some pretty highly touted recruits, at least by Colorado standards. If I were to guess, there are going to be a lot more 3 and 4 stars coming in, and most likely some 5 stars as well. Colorado isn't just killing it in the recruiting game, they're also putting together a really solid coaching staff. The latest move is Deion Sanders bringing his defensive coordinator from Jackson State to Colorado in Dennis Thurman. He's going to be coming to Colorado as a director of quality control and a defensive analyst. Thurman has been the defensive coordinator at Jackson State for the past 3 seasons. This year, the Tigers had the #1 defense in the FCS. They led in points allowed per game and yards allowed per game. Thurman has had a lengthy coaching career. He was the defensive backs coach at USC from 1993 through 2000. He was the defensive coordinator for the Jets from 2013 to 2014 and the Bills from 2015 through 2016. So Deion Sanders is bringing over a guy that he's worked with for a number of years and a coach that has 3 decades worth of experience. At least 4 of Deion Sanders' assistants from Jackson State are going to be on the Colorado staff. As of right now, it looks like it's been reported that Tim Brewster, Andre Hart, and Kevin Mathis are going to be coming to Colorado from Jackson State. Sanders has also already hired Sean Lewis to be his offensive coordinator, Bill O'Boyle to be the offensive lines coach, Charles Kelly to be the defensive coordinator, and Vincent Dancy to be an analyst. It was also reported this week that Nick Williams, a defensive analyst at Texas A&M, A&M is going to be joining the staff as an on-field coach for defense as well. So like I mentioned earlier, Deion Sanders is already killing it in the recruiting game and likely the transfer portal, but he's also putting together a really solid and respected coaching staff. Speaking of coaching, let's move over to Stanford, where they just announced Troy Taylor as their new football coach. Troy Taylor has been coaching Sacramento State since 2019. While with Sacramento State, he's emerged as one of the top coaches at the FCS level. He's a two-time Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year, winning in 2019 and 2021. He also won the 2019 Eddie Robinson Award as FCS Coach of the Year, and he's a finalist yet again this season after leading his team to a 12-0 record. As you guys remember, the Stanford job opened when David Shaw resigned back in November after spending 12 seasons with the Cardinal. Stanford has been pretty bad since the start of the 2019 season, as they've gone 14-28 during that stretch. Here's what Troy Taylor had to say about being named as Stanford's next head coach. I am thrilled to be the new head football coach at Stanford. The opportunity to lead the finest student athletes in the country is truly a dream come true. I believe that Stanford football is perfectly positioned to become champions on the football field while maintaining our world-class reputation for academic excellence. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid hire. As you can see, Taylor has been one of the better coaches at the FCS level for the last 4 seasons. Things haven't been going well at Stanford for the last few years, and I think it was time for a new leader. I'm not certain if Stanford is going to be competing for Pac-12 titles anytime soon, but I definitely think he has what it takes to turn this program around and at least have them bowl eligible next season. We're going to wrap up this video talking about the Heisman results. Last night, Caleb Williams won the Heisman, and it didn't really come as much of a surprise. The Heisman finalists, as you know, were Caleb Williams, Max Duggan, CJ Stroud, and Stetson Bennett. Now, I just wanted to quickly talk about these results because there was a lot of controversy surrounding them. I got no problem with Caleb Williams winning, or Duggan finishing second, or Stroud finishing third. But if we're being honest with ourselves, Stetson Bennett had no business being a finalist. He finished in 4th place, receiving more votes than Hendon Hooker, Blake Corum, and Michael Penix Jr., just to name a few. I mean, Stetson Bennett received 36 first place votes. Now, I know the Heisman Committee has nearly 1,000 members that vote for this, but how can you tell me that there are 36 people out there that truly think that Stetson Bennett was the best player in all of college football this season? I get it, he was on an undefeated Georgia team that's looking to win their 2nd consecutive national championship, but let's be real with ourselves. Stetson Bennett does not have the numbers to be anywhere close near the top of voting. Now, it's not only Stetson Bennett that I really had a problem with when it came to this top 10. First off, when looking at the 10 players on this list, where in the hell is Bo Nix? Bo Nix was number 3 in the entire country and touchdowns responsible for with 42. He was also number 2 in the entire country in yards per play, averaging 8.4, while being number 8 in the country in total yards with 3,900. I mean, I'm not saying Bo Nix should have been a Heisman finalist by any means, but how is it that he was top 5 in some pretty important categories among quarterbacks, but he didn't even finish top 10 in voting? Also, no respect to Bryce Young, who put together a pretty solid campaign, but I think just the name alone and him winning the Heisman Trophy last season is the reason he finished in 6th place. I mean, his numbers were significantly worse than last season. He threw 1,800 fewer yards and 20 fewer passing touchdowns. I mean, Bryce Young finished 6th in voting, but he finished 6th in his own conference in total yards. So yeah, I know it doesn't necessarily mean much because he wasn't a finalist, so it doesn't really matter who finished 5th to 10th in voting. But overall, I'd like to see some consistency from the people that are actually voting for the award. I mean, I don't know how you can have a vote and you can watch college football over the course of an entire season and you can vote for guys like Bryce Young and Drake May over Caleb Williams, Max Duggan, CJ Stroud. Even Hendon Hooker deserved more votes. I mean, I get Hendon Hooker had his season cut short due to injury, but the fact that he finished behind Stetson Bennett is an absolute joke. So at the end of the day, Caleb Williams won and he was the deserving winner, but when looking at some of these results, I just have a lot of questions and a lot of problems with it. The good thing is there are nearly 1,000 people that vote, so because you have one guy that puts together a truly horrific ballot, it likely isn't going to impact the results too much. Well, that wraps up today's episode of 4th and 10. What are your thoughts on the job Deion Sanders has been doing in Colorado through his first few weeks there? Also, do you share my confusion with the Heisman results, and do you have a problem with how things shaped out? Whatever your thoughts are on the topics I discussed today, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you love college football, this is definitely the place for you. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.